Tech Hub. I'm Steven.
AP.
Welcome back. New year.
It's been a little while, man.
It has, but same room, same good old orange.
Yeah, I love the orange. Not really. It's not my favorite color.
And, no, I don't think it's anybody's really. So I want to revisit a subject that we talked about a while ago, BIM 360 plan. Did you see the videos that Jared tossed up to our YouTube channel?
I did. I got a chance to check them out a little bit earlier. Pretty good stuff. Goes into the functionality a little bit. And
it's nice because it's short, little bite-sized chunks. Mm-hmm. Just watch them real quick because I know when I've been researching stuff, the last thing I want is 25-minute long video.
Right.
So we did talk about BIM 360 team at length a little while ago, and I'm sorry, BIM 360 plan.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd figure it out. It's like having 8 nephews all named Jim.
Yeah. You're not the first person to ever misspeak on BIM 360 naming, so.
But for those of you who didn't see the video before, BIM 360 plan is a planning tool. Lean construction was what it was designed for.
Yep.
I think it hits its wheelhouse right in like that 6 month, 9 month range.
Right.
Maybe not the 24 or 18 month periods.
Yeah, right. Not the tool you want to probably base your entire project schedule off of right off the bat, right? But I think those bite-sized chunks, those critical pathing methodology, last planner methodology is what it really was built off of. The idea being it's a collaborative process throughout even construction, right?
Yeah.
So it drives a conversation each time.
And it gets rid of the Post-it notes that I've knocked off of trailer. Watch the other video to see the joke. But yeah, so this first video was actually pretty awesome. He talks about copying activities, so now you don't have to completely rebuild everything.
Right.
You have the ability to go in and drill down and filter out and see what's in your atrium, what's in your first floor, second floor, well, having all that noise. And then you can actually even drill down and start filtering by specific locations and clear out all the other noise. So right here you're seeing that he's just clearing out by the atrium. And to copy it, it's really simple. You just copy, you select all, you hit copy, and that's it. It's duplicated everything.
So why would you want to copy everything in this instance?
So for instance, let's use first floor, second floor, door installation. I don't have to recreate everything. Doors are doors.
Right.
So this way I can just copy everything out, change the location after I duplicate it to first floor or second floor, and then push out the finished date range because I'm probably going to install everything on the atrium or first floor before I'm going to do the second floor.
Right.
You move from the bottom to top.
Yep.
So then that actually just allows me to create all those activities, and then I'm sorted.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. I mean, it speeds up the process big time, right? And then I think the other way we can go into organizing out these activities or really just populating out our project would be the import ability. So when we talk about some of the other planning tools, a lot of our customers would use a P6 that's going to give you that broad swath of your project schedule. You can actually import some of that information into the project. So here I'm creating new activity. Basically just going in, designating what type of task, what type of activity, giving it a name, assigning it to a user, to a company, and then you can even get on the schedule, the crew size, which I think is critical. That's something that I think you'd oftentimes want to be able to filter to actually see what is going on in there.
So really almost like any other tool, you're just entering this stuff in a manual process.
Right. But it beats from a high level, right? A dashboard perspective, you get clear insight as to where that task breakdown is, who's been committed, what status is on it. So I think those are all valuable.
So this is the part that I like is the automatic because I like to work smarter, not harder. Can you tell me a little bit more about this one?
Yeah, so this is what I was kind of speaking to earlier is based on that CSV import, right? So we can populate out a template that comes with BIM 360 plan as long as you have your organization as far as the CSV, right? The activity name, the duration, finish date, type, so on and so forth. Build that all out in a CSV and then import it directly in, and it's recognized.
Very cool. So what does all this have to do? Like after you import all this stuff, what do you do next? Like what's the best way to view this? Plan's got two ways. I have a favorite way, but I want to find out what yours is first.
It's actually got 3 ways if you think about it.
Wow, I just messed up.
But I mean, I'm kind of go back to my architecture days where all our project schedules were built in the Gantt chart view. So that's what I'm used to. But I know you were going to speak to the swim lane.
The swim lane, yeah. Thanks for queuing me up on that one.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but when you look at the swim lane here, all it does is it gives you that ability to just to see in a graphical manner what you have. So it's your Outlook calendar, and you're looking at all the tasks that you have to do personally. But instead of just you, it's every other company that you have in that job site.
Right.
You can, in here, we can look at the location by company, by work. So you can actually drill down if you only care about what the site utility contractor is doing. Because since I had worked for one, I know that everything rolls downhill, and they always want to know what we're doing. But here you can like that company AFP. You can look at Ray's Drywall and Smith Architects, and you can see what they're doing, and they're working in the atrium. But if I'm only concerned with AFP, I can pop everybody out, and now that's all I'm looking at. And it gives me a nice, detailed, it's a horizontal bar graph.
Right.
That shows me exactly what's going on, when and where, change the dates, scroll in and out. Everything's awesome.
Right, right. And I think the nice part about that too is you can totally change over the view range too as well, right? So if you're looking at what's going on this week, I got to organize out my team. I can also very quickly switch that 6-week outlook, or even customize it further, that date range, get insight where I need.
Exactly.
Yep. So I think the last part, right, tying back to what I was talking about, the Gantt chart, I think anybody who's done any scheduling, this will look very familiar. But again, in the same tune, right, we have things organized out by activity, by company, even down to that role, that person that's associated. And then, plenty of different ways to organize these out. Here we have them by finish. And oftentimes, as we all know, within construction, as with anything else, a lot of tasks, rely on previous tasks. Yeah. So I think that's something that a lot of our competitor tools focus on as well, is that deep logic between these tasks. And I think that's where Plan is kind of different in that, it's really geared around driving that conversation week to week. So if flexible. Exactly. If I have one person, one crew that's, let's say, going over their allotted time, that's obviously going to impede on a commit that a later crew may have. May be a conflict of them working in the same space at the same time, so you can drive that connection. But you do ultimately have to have that conversation to say, okay, I'm ready to start up. You guys are not done. Now I got to push my schedule and bump it.
Exactly. Think about it. I always look at it as in concrete pours. If you guys pour 100 yards in a week, well, if you can't pour on Tuesday because of the rain, or the snow, or the weather, well, then you pour double on Wednesday or Thursday. Why mess up the hard logic when it's really just verbal communication?
Right.
And this just gives you a little transparency into what that verbal communication was.
Yep.
We were talking before we popped on, and there was one more feature that you talked about that we wanted to show, and it's the reporting. What this gives you is, again, it's that transparency, and I think that's what the entire BIM 360 product line does, is provide that transparency into what the project is actually going on, what's happening. Here, looking at a snapshot, you can see that Brody Construction, well, let's go 4 incomplete tasks, but it's got an 86 project PBC rate.
Project percent complete.
Percent complete.
And I think that's where you always want eye on the prize, right? You want to see how your project's performing across the board compared to that analytics, and I think that's what the dashboard view does. Something we didn't really talk a lot about, but each task that you quote unquote commit to as a crew, if you don't hit your mark, you have to generate out a root cause. So when you think about organization down to a subcontractor, diagnostics as to why I'm consistently missing my mark, that's where I think the dashboarding, the reporting comes into play, where I can get that bird's eye view, see what the most common root causes are. I have that information readily available to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So these 4 videos that we showed, they're also up on our YouTube channel. I'll put links in the description below, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, everybody.